There you go.
Okay, so hello, welcome. I hope you're enjoying your stay here. Uh, I'm gonna interview you about Internet of Things and about our project. A couple of questions, 10 in total, and I hope that it all goes well. So, first question is: do you know what Internet of Things is? And if so, elaborate, please.
Yes. Internet of Things is basically the communication between so many different devices with each other, all communicating through the internet. There's so many different applications. There's so many different things. I mean, we see this nowadays every day when we have for example, the Alexa or the Google Home or whatever, and they
Mhm.
actually control our houses through the internet. Like if they tell like turn on the light, they first connect to the internet, then the internet goes back to our house and they connect the light. So it's the applications of this are humongous, humongous, humongous. So it's definitely an emerging technology that I think it's worth exploring.
Nice. Second question is that do you think that obesity, diabetes, and overweight are important problems to solve currently? And if so, why?
Yes, I definitely think those are very important problems that we need to solve, especially living in a country like ours, Mexico, since um, the comorbidities of having diabetes, as we've seen so far, for example, on coronavirus, is one of the like very bad.
Hmm.
Um, and even seeing children being obese or having diabetes at such an early age is very alarming. So yes, I think it's worth solving it as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So I think so too. What solutions would you offer to solve these problems?
First of all, I think education. I think the government is trying to do something, especially with the labels, the new labels on each of the packages and everything. But I think that's not enough. I personally, just this is completely personal, my opinion. I think the previous labels were better because they actually said
Hmm.
how much percentage you are taking from your actual daily income
Yeah.
of
Right.
of things. But that's one way of changing it. Another way is having classes like health classes and being like, hey, you cannot do this and this and this and this because you'll probably gain weight. And if you gain weight, then you get diabetes. Well, not diabetes, but you get obese. And you
Hmm.
might get diabetes. You're at a higher risk of getting diabetes. And I think education is probably the best way, starting from how from the school. Sorry,
Hmm.
um, I'm just speaking for personal experience because I've never had such education. Like the first time that I heard about diabetes was probably when I was in junior high school or probably high school. I didn't know
Hmm.
about it, and maybe I
Suddenly,
had
you
it.
just.
So yeah.
Mhm.
So we need to start like earlier, I guess, from the education. I think that's the best way.
Yeah, I think so too. So now, where do you think technological advances should put their interests? For example, in education, in health, in businesses.
Oh, um, that's a pretty good question, actually. Oof, I think technology should be striving to fix the problems, like all of the problems, regardless of the area, but
Hmm.
especially in health, and then very close second, education, because as we've seen in the recent years, science and technology can solve a lot of problems. They can solve so many different problems and conditions in humans that makes us live a better life, right?
Hmm.
But at the same time, we need education so that we know what's happening with our bodies with these technologies or whatever. So I think on both of them, on science and technology.
Okay. Now, do you think having a good diet is important? And if so, why?
Yep, it is super important because that defines everything that you are. That's my opinion, but I think that's also um, very true to real life because if someone eats only junk food, for example, I'm eating hamburgers, I'm eating potatoes, fries, potato chips, sorry, every single day, and drinking 2 liters of cola, like of soda every single day, I'm probably going to gain weight first of all, and I'm probably going to get my arteries clogged up, um, which is a health risk. And then if I, on top of that, I don't make exercise, like I don't exercise at all, that's even worse. Like I'm not using all those calories, so they need to go somewhere, and they're going to be stored in my body, and they're going to be, I don't know, they're going to be making a lot of different things go wrong inside of my body, which I don't think it's good. Um, so yes, having a health diet, in short, super important. It also affects your mood. If you eat healthy, you're probably going to feel better simply because you have this mentality of like, oh, I ate healthy, so it's something good.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Okay, now you know that with Internet of Things comes a lot of information, a lot of data that users put into the actual products, and and even now, a lot of apps like WhatsApp and the whole scandal that they had because of the information they were taking from their users. Do you think? No. What are the dangers of collecting so much data about someone? What do you think?
the dangers are unlimited, basically. I
Hmm.
mean, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, all those, like TikTok, even all these social media platforms have so much information about us. Like, they know where I live, they know how old I am, they know how I look, they know everything about me.
Hmm.
And the danger in itself is that maybe I could lose my face, for example. They'll
Hmm.
What do I mean by this? They could use my face, they could use my data in so many different ways if it goes to the wrong hands, actually. Because of, like the user agreement says that they are not going to be using personal information in bad regards and blah blah blah. But what if there's a leak of information and I'm getting personified by someone else? Like someone else is stealing my name, someone else is stealing my data, someone else is doing my things. And then, for
Hmm.
example, one day I go to the bank account because I want a new credit card, and they're like, "Hey, you already have a credit card," and you're like, "No, yes, and you owe 1 million pesos," and I'm like, "No." So that could happen. That's a great risk. There's so many different things, and an even greater risk. Like if they know our location, if it goes to a very bad person, they could come up and kidnap us at any single time and ask for a ransom of money, and that's so horrible things that could happen. Fortunately, I want to believe that there's security in place to stop that. Nevertheless, it's not 100% secure, I know, and this is the risk that we all have as internet users.
Yeah. Now, talking about security, what are the strategies that you would use and that you know of to secure the privacy of an user?
What do I use personally, or what do I
What
know?
do you use or what do you know about?
Mm, I actually don't know about many things. Like for that security, I
Hmm.
personally rely on the companies to hold their part of the agreement, basically. Like if I'm using their platform, it's because I trust in them that they are not going to misuse my information.
Hmm.
Besides that, I tend to do just the normal things. For example, I don't post my name on random parts. I don't just put my phone number anywhere. Just kind of common practices that I've developed or that I've learned throughout the years of not just trusting anyone in the internet. For example, like if you get an email saying like you won $1 million, please click on this email. I'm not going to do that because I know that that might get a virus. Speaking of viruses, I do have an antivirus, for example.
Mm.
Um, but besides that, I honestly have not much of an idea of internet security, basically.
Okay. Now, you have been my teacher personally, and I know that you know many, many, many more things that I do about, many topics, including technology. And the question here is, how could you use your knowledge to help society?
My knowledge in personal.
Yeah.
Um, phew, there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways. The ways that I've done so far is trying to teach you younger generations to be like, hey, there's these different ways, there's different things that you could do. So you maybe you should look into
Yeah.
them, right? Trying to like teach you, educate you to so many different things that there's that you can develop your critical thinking as well. There's all of that things.
Mhm.
Um, Another thing that I believe as well is that, well, not that I believe, but that I've done is dedicate myself to renewable energies in my, for example, for my master thesis. So I know that with my knowledge that I created and that I share with people, I know that there we get a little bit further ahead into actually transitioning from oil, from natural gas, and from coal, all the way to renewable energies. Um, Besides that, there's just so many things that I could do. I could also um, make free classes, for example, in the internet on YouTube and be like, hey, there's these different things that I can do. Hey, there's these different other things that you can do to help the environment. So yeah, those things.
Now, let me tell you about our project. What we want to do is either an app that helps people to just with an AI take a photo or a video of their food, and then the app just automatically knows what the actual dish is, and now you should only just put the weight in it. And our other idea is to do a plate, a smart plate, which would be waterproof and would have a wireless connection, charging connection, in order to charge itself. And then this could connect to your Alexa, to your phone, and to an app, and it would weigh how much food you put into it. And so weighing your food and having a balanced diet would be much, much easier on the user. Now the question is, are there any possible risks in the near future if we continue this project? What do you think about that? And which are they? And what risks do you think we could encounter in the near future for our project?
Mm, I think the in the near future, I think that's where we should go in terms of education and science. So I think your project is amazing. For like,
Mhm.
first of all, I think it's very good. The risks are always there, of course, that some other company are already looking into it, for example, or that I think a relatively big risk is that, for example, if you take a picture of with your phone to the dish
Mhm.
and it says it has 300 calories, for example, but it actually in reality has 600. So
Mhm.
that can be something. Once again, sorry, needed to cough.
Mhm.
So in some way, you could develop certain problems with that. For example, like I said, if the dish is 300 calories, like, okay, the app says the dish is 300 calories,
Sure.
but in reality, 600, that's double it. And if people follow your app like as a straight regime, they'll be like, why am I gaining weight? Why am I, if the app is saying that it's 300? So that's one problem. Another problem is in the development of the app. actually finding out the exact dish, because there's so many different things. There's
Mm,
so many different types of dishes. For example, if I try to make a steak, I'm pretty sure you and I will make different steaks. Maybe I will add other condiments. Maybe you will add different spices. Maybe you will add potatoes and I will add asparagus. I don't know. There's so many different ways. So the development of the app sounds difficult, but I don't consider it a risk. In other ways, um, you should take close attention in how you manage the information from your users. That you secure the information in a secure database. That you know that all the information from all the users are encrypted and safe from danger, right? Um, I'm trying to think of risks with other kinds of risks, but I think that's where we're going anyways. I
mm,
think everything will be connected in the end, and as long as we make proper uses of these connections, then there shouldn't be any problems.
sure.
Because there's going to be other people also. Yeah, no
Sorry.
problem.
So I know I've talked about these type of apps where you put your food and how many grams of it you eat. I'm sure maybe you know about it a little bit. Uh, do you think counting calories is a way of taking care of your health?
Sorry, once again.
Do you think counting calories is
Hmm.
a way of taking care of your health?
Yes, definitely. Um, it's one step. It's not a complete story because it's different. For example, if I count the calories of a hamburger than counting calories from like a lettuce or whatever, right? Uh, because of the nutritional value that these calories also have. So definitely, it's the first step, but it's not the whole story.
Mhm. Okay, that's about it. Thank you so much for your time and your answers. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the near future.
Of course, I'm looking forward to your project. I wish
Thank
you
you.
all the success.
Thank you very much.